Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it is pretty obvious that Honkai Star Rail 4.0 has absolutely shaken the gacha space, right, ladies and gentlemen? You can see over here, they're doing amazing new collabs with amazing companies like Uma Musume, Pretty Derby. You got Sparksy over here making sure, right, that the love is shown, that the collaboration is here, and that the success of Planarcadia 4.0, all of that is obvious for the rest of the world. But that's all a lie. This is, without a doubt, the biggest bait I've probably ever seen in my entire goddamn career, because the reality of HSR 4.0 is that this is Arknight's Enfield, but worse. When I talk about Arknight's Enfield, but worse, I'm talking about this. A game that is marketed more than it's actually developed. A game that is trying to actually appeal to people without offering much on release. And it turns out that HSR 4.0, ladies and gentlemen, might be one of the worst looking products I've ever seen in the history of not just gacha gaming, but gaming as a fucking whole. Because you want to know why? Because when you have all this evidence that the developers are spending more time on advertising, on collaborations, than the actual game itself, then you know that the developers themselves have given up on the fucking game and realize this is the only way they can bait people into actually playing Planarcadia. Because you know why? We've gotten a look. People have finally played the update. You won't hear this from shill CCs like Mr. Pokey. You won't see any critiques for Planarcadia or anything like that on my channel. All you're gonna see is, of course, a bunch of videos about me because Mr. Pokey desperately wants his editor abuse allegations removed by striking my channel, right? You're never gonna see any of that shit on Mr. Pokey's channel because this is what it looks like in game. That's a PNG. It only looks normal from the front. And if you look at this from the side, you'll realize, wait, that's an image. You'd have to be pretty retarded to be baited into not thinking this was a PNG. But, like, just think about it this way. That's, like, the wall. And, like, you're not meant to look inside. So, nobody probably thought this was real, but that's just how bad it gets, ladies and gentlemen. That is just how bad it gets. And my favorite part about this is when they angle it over here, right? And you take a look at this, and it looks like the game is modded, right? Doesn't this kind of look like you're in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas? Or, like, GTA 3 or something like that? And, like, they imported Castorus's model into, like, a PS2 game. That's what this shit actually looks like. And I am baffled. I am mind blown, guys, that this is $1 billion company. This is a $1 billion company that makes billions of dollars from this game. And you want to know the worst part about all of this, guys? Where do you think all the money's going? Where do you think all of this money is going? Didn't Honkai Star Rail just have something super crazy in version 3.7, right? Wasn't it the spending event? 2 versions ago, HSR had a spending event. 2 versions ago, HSR had a $400 bow spending event. That's what's in the game. That's what's in the game. Within 80 days of your spending event, that's what they put in the game. Sorry, within like 60 days of the spending event ending. That's what they put in the game. So clearly, money from that spending event, money from the greed of the power creep, money from making older characters useless and encouraging you to pull only the new ones, and money from, of course, making light cones feel mandatory on every character by adding in new classes like Remembrance. And of course, Elation, right? Making sure you can't reuse old light cones, right? All the money, instead of going into the game's actual fucking development, is going to this shit. Because they know their product is trash. They know that retarded players and retarded CCs for the game, picture unrelated, super unrelated, won't care that their game looks like this. They don't care, and they'll just keep spending money anyways. Hoyoverse thinks you're stupid. Hoyoverse thinks that this is going to be something that works out well for them. These surface level giga cringe ads with just popular Japanese things, right? Because guess what? Rainbow Planarcadia was supposed to be Japan. What is Hatsune Miku? Japan. But like now, all they fucking got is this garbage. It just looks like trash. So why did they just cancel this? Why didn't they just, I don't know, get some of the fucking money back from this shit? Because it's obviously garbage. Why didn't they just get some of the money back and make the game not a pile of shit? Because this isn't even the worst thing in here, guys. You can really tell these were supposed to be pink cherry blossoms. I know. I know they look like they were supposed to be pink cherry blossoms. Now they just look like Britain. Yep. Now, guys, they managed to somehow, I don't know why, can you use a different leaf color than yellow? Like, trees are green. Why do you keep using yellow? They just did this. This was 3.4. You can't make it look different? Maybe they weren't supposed to be pink cherry blossoms. I think they just copy pasted this shit, bro. I don't think they were. I think they just copy pasted this shit. You're giving them too much effort. You're making it sound like they made these pink, then recolored them. No, they just Control C, Control V'd. But wait a second. Bro, these things have like 2 polygons. I'm sorry, bro. Hold up. Bro, this thing has 2 polygons on it. What in God's name is that? That actually looks like a PS2 game. The trees in Britain look better. The trees in Britain looked better. So it's even a downgrade. I'm mind blown, bro. I don't even know how you do this. Like, did they actually... And dude, they all look like shit. Everything looks bad. What is that? What the fuck is that back there? That doesn't even look real. And bro, now they added like little pets that follow you around like it's a fucking MMORPG. What is this shit? How do you fuck it up this bad? Because you know what? It's pretty clear what the results are, ladies and gentlemen. It's pretty clear that it's not just I, and it's not just my chat that thinks this is a steaming pile of dog shit. It's pretty much the entire fucking world. Because HSR is supposed to be one of those games that hits the top of charts because it's supposed to be popular. But a reception like this for your version 4.0 update means that this game is pretty much a complete abject failure. Is this what it looks like with better graphics? Dude, they have 2 polygons. This looks like a tree from RuneScape. Wait. This looks like a RuneScape tree? This looks like a RuneScape tree, bro, with just a fucking texture on it. The RuneScape tree looks better. Never... How does the tree in RuneScape look better than the one in Honkai Star Rail? I don't even think that's disputable, right? This one actually looks better, right? We like agree that this one actually looks better, right? I don't even mean this in like a fake way. Like it, dude, it has like 2 polygons. What the fuck? I'm just mind blown. I'm actually in shock. The production quality of this game, I'm telling you, bro, it legitimately looks like a PS2, Bro, this looks like Gary's mod. Bro, this looks like a Gary's mod YouTube. This looks like Gary's mod. What the fuck? Bro, what even is this? Dude, we're going back in time. I'm telling you, this shit looks photoshopped. Bro, I've been telling you, this shit looks photoshopped. It looked like a mod for a game. It looks like a mod for an old game, man. What? Is it that surprising at all that these are some of the Results? Bro, where's it in the United States? Wait, are we not is it not even record? Bro. Where's the United States? Where is the United States? Apparently, this might be something too. Apparently, this could also be something as well. And a Chinese person made this, so for some reason, I'm more inclined to believe in it. Because, like, I assume they actually have the actuals. That's why they have the actuals from, like, a CN source. Just, if true, wow. Maybe he'll catch up and... I think the players are going to be too pissed off. This is my take. I think the players are going to be too mad because they look at this history of spending events. They look at this history of greediness. They look at this history of power creep. And they look at this history of all the issues Hoyo's not fixing. And they're realizing that they've been giving Hoyoverse too much money. I look at this, and if I'm a person that's been spending on the game, my takeaway is, I've been giving Hoyoverse too much money. I should stop. Literally, genuinely, that's the take. I've been giving them too much money. I should just stop doing that. Yeah, because this looks like VR chat. This looks like Gary's mod. This looks like a mod for another game. This doesn't look like something made by a company that makes billions of dollars. And I think it's pretty obvious that the market revenue, all of that is genuinely reflecting it. And I think, like, as you, like, look further, right, and you see what's going on, bro, it dropped even further. Now in Japan, it's 3 because they probably saw this shit. Bro, if I'm Japanese and then I saw this shit, I'm uninstalling the game. Bro, why would you not uninstall the game after seeing this? This shit is disrespectful. This shit is disrespectful. Especially after seeing this. Especially after seeing this. And of course, right, this is going to be the big one. The fact that you see it go from 2 in Japan, 12 in China, to 13 in Japan and 15 in China. Brother, it is just, it dropped literally everywhere as the day went on. And do you want to know the biggest side over here? Brother, do you know how funny it is to cover this situation knowing Mr. Pokey is in the back pocket of Hoyoverse this entire time? He is so it's unbelievable. I have never seen one creator so stupid, so slow on their pivot, and now their career is essentially over no matter what they do because they're trying to cover this fucking game. That is the game, bro. Bro, that was 3.0's peak. And guys, remember what I said? Twitch Tracker takes the average. This is lower than Wuthering Waves 3.1. This is lower than, I think, every other gacha game. Because that is the average views yesterday. February 13th, the release of this update. It got 12K viewers. That is the lowest one in recent memory. Literally. Guys, that was 2.8. This was Honkai Star Rail 2.8, guys. This was supposed to be the Gigabad update. Or, what was it 2.8? Maybe it was 2.7. I don't really know. Maybe it was 2.7. Yeah, maybe this was 2.8. Yeah, that was dog shit. I think this was 3.7. This one was 3.8. You can see that 3.7, guys. Fucking mogged this. You can see that this one, guys, mogged it. Look at this. Mogged. Every other patch in the history of the game has pretty much mogged the fuck out of HSR 4.0. And guys, apparently, I don't even know what's going on here. Let's see this. Y'all ready? Y'all ready to see what the game looks like without sponsors, guys? This is the unsponsored viewership. Within 48 hours of the update, this is the unsponsored viewership of HSR 4.0. And it's only up here right now because of a sponsor. And so once again, it's the Enfield effect, ladies and gentlemen, where a game is actually not good and it needs a lot of work to be better, and you should be giving the feedback to make it better, but then for some reason that feedback just isn't being given. And honestly, the feedback that should have been given to Hoyoverse is, if the game's gonna look this fucking shit, if you have the balls to do this, to just paste a PNG onto a wall, maybe you shouldn't be shipping the patch. Maybe you shouldn't ship the update if you're pasting PNGs onto walls. Is that fair? I think that's realistic. But unfortunately, I think it's something that Hoyoverse doesn't really feel like doing. And they're desperate for money. But I don't understand this desperation when you've just had 2 spending events last year. Did you need to rush out this update? Did you need to actually go ahead and greedily push it out before it was ready when you already should have a good stockpile of cash for your spending events? When you already should have a good stockpile of cash, right, from your other games? We should have a good stockpile of cash from, right, the fact that you're a billion-dollar company. And the fact that you extended the patch already for 2 weeks in version 3.8. You apologize to players for extending the patch. But this is what you ship? Bro, how do you have no shame? And do the content creators covering this game have no f***ing shame to just not be honest with their player base and release a video that says HSR 4.0 is a f***ing disaster? But Mr. Pokey won't do that because he's a grifting rat shill. How do you not, as a content creator for this game, make a video critiquing this? Is this acceptable? Is this good? Do you want more of this? Why aren't you critiquing it? Because we're a grifter. And the longer we go without making public commentary on the fact that this game looks like one released in 2007, well, address that, Mr. Pokey. Address why you're shilling for a game that doesn't deserve it. Address why you refuse to talk about the real problems HSR has. Because isn't this your main game? Isn't this what you want to grow your career off of? Or are you admitting HSR is not worth saving anymore, and that's why you're not critiquing it? And in a sense, you're saying goodbye to your career. I would assume a lack of response and a lack of willingness to critique the company and fix what's going on, that must mean you're just going down with the ship. So we'll take silence as acceptance, because we know you're too much of a pussy to ever speak on this game. Otherwise, Daddy DeWay might give you a little spanking or two. But then again, you're used to the spanking because you decided to pull out copyright strikes instead of actually fighting me fairly. It is what it is, right? So I'll just talk shit about you for the next couple of weeks and make you feel awful whenever you think about me. It is my specialty after all. That's why you all have a disease called Sate derangement syndrome. And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's kind of obvious what's going on. This game's fate is sealed, much like Ameth's. But unlike Ameth, this game has no Chisa to save her. It is railed. It's over. It is Honkai EOS rail at this point. Because I don't know how you rationalize a game releasing its 4.0 update and looking this f***ing bad. This is embarrassing. This is absurd. And whoever was in charge of beta testing this, signing off on these sponsors, signing off on that, doing all of this, putting a PNG in the game, and of course, making all the trees look the same, and making sure all the trees look worse than ones in RuneScape. You should all be fired. I'm so honest. You all deserved. You are paycheck stealing bums. You are paycheck stealing thieves. In what universe does a company do this many spending events, this much like greediness, this much power creep, and then release the biggest pile of shit you've ever seen? It's the same company where the only CCs for it are corporate boot-licking rats. I hope y'all enjoy the bed you've made. There's a reason why nobody creates content on this game or plays this anymore. And anyone that still does, well, they're just known as the biggest laughing stocks in the space. Maybe that's why Mr. Pokey's making so much content around it. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.